Most men think attraction is all about looks, charm, or having the perfect words ready. But the truth is far more surprising and far more powerful. Women respond to something deeper, something subtle, something most men never even notice they're expressing. It's the quiet behaviors, the emotional signals, the psychological triggers that tell her exactly who you are, long before you ever make a move. These triggers have nothing to do with flirting, and everything to do with how you carry yourself, how you think, and how you show up in the world. When a man embodies these qualities, calmness, emotional strength, authenticity, purpose, women feel it instantly. They become more open, more comfortable, and more naturally drawn to him without him trying to impress anyone. In today's video, we're breaking down 10 psychological attraction triggers that instantly draw women in, all based on emotional intelligence, human behavior, and the kind of quiet confidence that speaks louder than words. And remember, these have nothing to do with anything physical or sexual. These are the traits that make a woman feel safe, respected, and genuinely interested because of the man you are, not the image you perform. If you're ready to understand attraction on a deeper, more mature level, let's get into it. Number 1. Calmness under pressure. There is something quietly powerful about a man who stays calm when life gets chaotic. A man who doesn't raise his voice when things go wrong. A man who doesn't panic when others are losing control. A man who can hold his center when the world around him is shaking. Women notice this immediately, not because it makes him cool, but because it communicates something much deeper about his character, emotional maturity, and overall stability. Calmness under pressure is not about being emotionless. It is not about pretending to be unaffected. It is not about suppressing your feelings. It is about having the inner strength to respond, not react. This quiet self-control sends a signal that is far more powerful than flashy confidence or loud dominance. It tells her that you are someone who stands on solid ground, someone who won't collapse when challenges arise, and that creates a sense of respect and emotional safety that women instinctively respond to. Below are the key reasons this trait is so attractive and what it reveals about the type of man you truly are. 1. It shows emotional stability. A calm man is a grounded man. Emotional stability means you don't let stress drive your behavior. You don't snap impulsively. You don't allow external chaos to dictate your internal state. Instead, you take a breath. You observe. You think clearly before acting. This stability communicates maturity. It shows her that you have control over yourself, which means she can trust that you won't become unpredictable or explosive during difficult moments. Women don't expect perfection. They expect steadiness, and calmness delivers exactly that. 2. It signals inner confidence. When a man is calm under pressure, it's clear he does not feel threatened or overwhelmed by challenges. This demonstrates an internal confidence that is deeper than words or attitude. It's a silent message that says, I can handle this. I can handle life. You're not trying to impress. You're not trying to prove yourself. You simply carry a quiet certainty that speaks louder than anything you could say. Women respect this because it shows that your confidence is real and not a performance. 3. It reflects emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence isn't about hiding emotions. It's about understanding them, processing them, and responding thoughtfully. A calm man notices his emotions without being ruled by them, understands what triggers him, takes responsibility for his reactions, and maintains clarity even during tension. This emotional awareness allows you to deal with conflict, uncertainty, and misunderstandings in a healthy way, something women value deeply. Calmness is a sign that you think before acting, which makes you a trustworthy presence in her life. 4. It shows you can handle conflict respectfully. Life brings disagreements. People misunderstand each other. Emotions rise. A man who stays calm during conflict communicates that he can engage respectfully without blaming, shaming, or escalating the situation. This doesn't mean avoiding difficult conversations. It means approaching them with a level head. Calmness allows you to listen more clearly, understand the other person's point of view, express yourself without aggression, and find solutions instead of assigning blame. Women notice when a man can discuss problems without turning them into battles. It makes them feel respected and emotionally safe. 5. It creates a sense of safety and reliability. When a man holds his center, he becomes someone others naturally want to be around. His presence feels steady, predictable, grounded. This doesn't mean you take responsibility for everyone's emotions. It simply means you show up as someone who can be relied upon, not because you say so, but because your behavior proves it. Women appreciate a man who doesn't add to the chaos, but instead brings clarity to it. Calmness says, I don't run from pressure. I don't crumble under stress. I handle life with composure. That kind of reliability is rare and deeply attractive. 6. It shows you don't let ego control you. Many men react explosively under pressure because their ego feels threatened. They feel the need to argue, dominate, defend, or prove something. A calm man doesn't operate through ego. He stays focused on the situation, not his pride. He doesn't need to win. He needs to understand. He doesn't need to appear strong. He is strong because he is composed. Women see calmness as a sign of humility and self-awareness. It shows you value peace over ego battles.
Number 2. Genuine presence and attentiveness. In a world full of distractions, constant notifications, rushing schedules, divided attention, genuine presence has become rare. And because it's rare, it's powerful. When someone can sit with you, listen to you, and be fully aware of the moment, it creates an experience that feels grounding, calming, and deeply meaningful. Men who carry genuine presence and real attentiveness stand out, not because they're loud, flashy, or trying to impress anyone, but because their attention feels steady, warm, and real. People, including women, naturally gravitate toward this kind of energy. It feels safe, trustworthy, and authentic. Below are the core reasons why genuine presence and attentiveness matter so much, and how this quiet strength communicates more than words ever could. Number 1. It shows you're grounded, not scattered. A man who is present isn't constantly checking his phone, rushing through conversations, or mentally jumping ahead to the next thing. He listens, he absorbs, he responds thoughtfully. This level of presence communicates that you're comfortable in your own mind and your own space. It shows emotional maturity, the kind that doesn't need chaos or noise to feel alive. People feel calmer around you because your presence tells them you're not competing with distractions for my attention. That grounded energy makes others feel respected and valued. Number 2. It builds trust without you needing to prove anything. Trust doesn't come from dramatic gestures or perfect speeches. It grows when someone feels they can talk to you without being judged, rushed, or dismissed. Being fully attentive shows that you're reliable. You take people seriously. You care about understanding, not just responding. You value connection more than performance. When someone speaks and you truly listen, it creates a space where honesty naturally flows. Real trust is built quietly like this, through steady attention, not promises. Number 3, it makes people feel understood, not just heard. There's a difference between hearing words and understanding the meaning behind them. Genuine attentiveness means you notice tone, pick up on emotions, catch details others overlook, remember what matters. This doesn't mean overanalyzing. It simply means you care enough to be aware. When someone feels understood, not just listened to, it creates a powerful bond. It shows emotional intelligence, patience, and real sincerity. Number 4, it demonstrates deep self-control. Being fully present requires discipline. It means choosing to stay mentally engaged rather than drifting into distractions. This quiet form of self-control is extremely attractive because it shows you're not ruled by impulses. Your emotions don't pull you in random directions. You can stay focused even when others can't. People respect a man who can hold his attention steady. It reveals confidence and internal balance without you needing to say a word. Number 5, it makes others feel safe to be themselves. When someone is genuinely attentive, the environment around them feels open and pressure-free. They don't interrupt, they don't judge, they don't try to dominate the conversation. Instead, they create a space where people feel comfortable expressing themselves honestly. This is rare. Most people listen just enough to respond, not enough to understand. So when you show true attentiveness, it makes others relax and reveal their authentic self around you. Number 6, it shows emotional maturity. Genuine presence comes from a place of inner stability. It means you've reached a level of maturity where your attention isn't constantly hijacked by stress or ego. It reflects patience, emotional awareness, the ability to respond instead of react, respect for others' experiences. People naturally trust emotionally mature individuals because they bring clarity instead of confusion. Number 7, it creates stronger and more meaningful conversations. When you're attentive, conversations go deeper, not because you force them, but because they flow naturally. You ask better questions. You hear the unspoken things. You give thoughtful responses. This kind of interaction leaves a lasting impression. People walk away feeling lighter, understood, and genuinely cared for. Most conversations in daily life feel rushed or shallow. You stand out by offering something real.
Number 3, purpose-driven behavior. Many men underestimate how powerful purpose truly is. They think attraction is about charm, looks, or perfect timing. But in reality, one of the strongest signals a man can ever give, consciously or unconsciously, is the signal of purpose. Not perfection, not achievement. Purpose. Purpose-driven behavior is not about being work-obsessed, overly serious, or cold. It's about something deeper, a life that is moving in a meaningful direction. A man who knows what he's building, why he's building it, and how he wants to grow becomes instantly more grounded, composed, and confident. Women naturally respond to this, not because of anything physical or romantic, but because purpose communicates emotional maturity, personal stability, and long-term depth. Below is a full detailed explanation of what purpose-driven behavior actually looks like, why it matters, and how women interpret it psychologically. 1. Purpose shows that you are anchored in something bigger than approval. A man without purpose often attaches himself to people for direction. His mood, decisions, and priorities shift depending on who he's around or what others think. But a man with purpose is different. He stands on solid ground. He doesn't chase approval. He doesn't need constant reassurance. Women notice this immediately. Purpose creates an inner anchor, something that guides your choices even when life feels uncertain. It shows emotional independence, which makes your energy feel steady and reliable. This isn't about pride, it's about having a central point in your life that keeps you aligned. 2. Purpose creates emotional stability. When a man is committed to a meaningful direction, his career, his personal growth, his craftsmanship, his emotions become more balanced. Why? Because purpose provides structure. It gives your days meaning. It reduces impulsive decisions. It keeps your mind focused on progress, not chaos. Women feel this stability when they interact with you. It makes them comfortable because your energy feels calm, controlled, and not easily shaken. You're not drifting. You're not lost. You're not reacting. You're moving with intention. 3. Purpose shapes the way you carry yourself. A purpose-driven man walks differently, speaks differently, and even thinks differently. There is a quiet strength in him, an internal compass that doesn't waver. He doesn't rush to impress anyone because he doesn't need to. He doesn't exaggerate or pretend to be something he's not. His presence feels grounded. This subtle shift in posture, eye contact, and tone is something women easily pick up on. It's not arrogance, it's self-respect. And self-respect creates an aura that people naturally gravitate toward. 4. Purpose keeps you from becoming emotionally dependent. When a man has no direction, he can become overly attached to others. He invests all his emotional energy in one place, often hoping someone else will give his life meaning. But when you have purpose, you remain emotionally balanced. You maintain your independence. You don't cling to attention. You don't fear being alone. Women find this deeply reassuring because it shows that your life has its own rhythm and value. You are with someone because you want to be, not because you need them to fill a void. There is tremendous power in that distinction. 5. Purpose makes you more selective with your time. A man who understands his mission does not waste time on distractions, drama, or inconsistent people. He becomes naturally selective, not harsh or rude, simply intentional. This tells women several key things. You respect your time. You respect your energy. You respect your goals. When a woman sees that you protect your time, she automatically respects you more. Purpose filters your environment, your habits, and even the people you allow close. 6. Purpose makes you consistent and reliable. Consistency is one of the most attractive qualities a man can embody, again, not in a physical way, but emotionally and psychologically. A man with purpose becomes predictable in his character, steady in his routines, clear in his decisions, trustworthy in his commitments. Women admire this because consistency builds emotional safety. It allows them to relax around you without trying to decode your behavior. A purpose-driven man does what he says, not to impress, just because it's who he is. 7. Purpose creates confidence without effort. Confidence doesn't come from pep talks or bold statements. It comes from progress. When you have purpose, every small win builds a quiet form of confidence. Not loud, not showy, just steady. It shows in your eyes, your posture, your tone. And women feel this instantly because it's natural confidence, not performed confidence. This is the kind of energy that earns respect without demanding it. 8. Purpose gives your life direction, and direction is attractive. It's human nature to admire someone who knows where they're going. Not someone who has everything figured out, but someone who is actively moving towards something meaningful. Direction creates momentum, and momentum creates strength. A man with direction feels like someone who can build, lead, grow, and adapt. That sense of forward motion is psychologically magnetic.
Number 4. Authentic confidence, not performance. There is a kind of confidence that doesn't need noise, spotlight, or exaggerated behavior. It doesn't require proving anything, showing off, or pretending to be someone you're not. This is authentic confidence, a steady, grounded presence built from inner stability, not external performance. Authentic confidence is not loud. It doesn't try to dominate. It doesn't try to impress. It simply is. People recognize it even before they fully understand why. They sense it in your tone, in your patience, in your ability to be present without forcing attention. Authentic confidence is attractive because it is honest, unshakable, and rare. Below are the reasons why authentic confidence stands out and how it naturally affects how people experience you. 1. Authentic confidence comes from self-understanding. Performance-based confidence is built on appearance, how you want others to see you. Authentic confidence is built on self-awareness, how you genuinely understand yourself. It grows from knowing your strengths without exaggeration and your weaknesses without shame. This kind of self-understanding allows you to stay grounded even when things are uncertain. You don't need validation to feel steady, and that makes your presence peaceful instead of pressured. People feel comfortable around someone who understands themselves. It creates an atmosphere of trust without a single word spoken. 2. It doesn't change based on who is watching. Performance confidence rises when an audience is present and disappears when the spotlight fades. Authentic confidence remains the same whether you are alone, in a group, or talking to someone one-on-one. You don't adjust your personality in hopes of earning approval. You don't inflate your energy to look impressive. You stay consistent, thoughtful, and calm, because your confidence doesn't depend on how many eyes are on you. This consistency is one of the most reassuring qualities someone can show. It makes people feel like they're dealing with someone reliable. 3. Authentic confidence doesn't seek validation. You don't need applause, praise, or constant reassurance. Your sense of worth doesn't come from how people react to you. Because of this, you're not desperate for approval. You can give someone space. You can walk away from situations that don't align with your values. You can handle disappointment without collapsing emotionally. People sense this immediately, and they respect it because it shows emotional maturity. 4. It shows in the way you handle stress. Stress exposes character. Performance confidence often cracks under pressure because it relies on maintaining control. Authentic confidence, however, shows itself through patience during chaos, composure during conflict, clarity under uncertainty. You don't panic, overreact, or shut down. Your calm becomes a stabilizing force for those around you. This type of steady behavior creates a natural sense of trust. People feel safe talking to someone who doesn't lose themselves in difficulty. 5. Authentic confidence doesn't compete with others. You don't view life as a contest. You're not trying to outshine someone. You're not threatened by someone else's strengths. You don't feel the need to prove you're better. Instead, you appreciate people as they are. You stay humble without being timid. You celebrate others without feeling small. This ability to stand tall without comparison is one of the clearest signs of genuine maturity. And strangely enough, it's exactly what makes others notice you more. 6. You're comfortable with a measured silence. Performance confidence fills every gap with noise. Authentic confidence allows silence without discomfort. You don't rush conversations. You don't speak just to be heard. You don't interrupt to showcase yourself. Your silence is thoughtful, not awkward. It signals self-control, not insecurity. People enjoy talking to someone who listens deeply instead of trying to dominate the interaction. This quiet confidence stands out more than volume ever could. 7. Authentic confidence doesn't pretend to know everything.
Instead of acting like you have all the answers, you're honest. I don't know. I'll learn more. Let me think about it. This humility is powerful because it is rare. It shows that your confidence is real, not inflated, not defensive, not afraid to admit something openly. People trust someone who can admit uncertainty without feeling embarrassed. 8. You're not afraid to say no. Saying yes to everything is often a form of performance, a way to seem agreeable or likable. Authentic confidence knows boundaries. You don't accept disrespect. You don't overextend yourself. You don't compromise your values to get approval. Your no is calm, firm, and grounded, not emotional, not dramatic. This ability to protect your space is one of the strongest indicators of inner strength.
Number 5. Emotional self-control. Emotional self-control isn't about being cold. It isn't about shutting down your feelings or pretending nothing affects you. Real emotional self-control is the ability to feel deeply, yet respond wisely. It's the capacity to stay grounded even when life gets unpredictable, difficult, or emotionally charged. Women naturally gravitate toward men who show this level of emotional steadiness, not because it makes a man look tough, but because it communicates safety, maturity, and reliability. Emotional self-control shapes the way you move, speak, handle conflict, and make decisions. It is one of the strongest signals of inner strength you can project. Here are the core reasons emotional self-control attracts women, explained with clarity and depth. 1. It shows you're a man who can be trusted. A man who manages his emotions doesn't let anger, frustration, or disappointment dictate his behavior. He responds instead of reacting. This creates a sense of trust because she knows you won't say something hurtful impulsively. She senses you won't spiral over small conflicts. She feels confident that you're consistent even during stress. Trust grows naturally around someone whose emotions are stable and predictable. Emotional self-control builds that trust without you saying a single word. 2. It signals inner strength, not fragility. Many men think expressing intensity, whether it's anger, jealousy, or frustration, makes them seem powerful. In reality, losing control communicates fragility, not strength. Emotional self-control shows you can handle difficult moments without losing yourself. You're bigger than your impulses. You choose clarity over chaos. You don't get easily shaken by external events. This quiet strength is something women deeply respect. It reveals a man who doesn't crumble under pressure. 3. It creates emotional safety for everyone around you. Women aren't attracted to unpredictability. They're drawn to calm stability. When you have emotional self-control, your tone stays steady. Your energy remains balanced. Your reactions are thoughtful. Your presence feels grounded. This makes you someone people feel safe around, not because you're emotionless, but because you're emotionally responsible. Women naturally open up more around a man who gives off this sense of emotional safety. 4. It shows maturity and life experience. Emotional self-control doesn't usually come from youth. It comes from experience, reflection, and growth. A man who has it shows he has learned from life, survived challenges, built emotional discipline, developed strong character. This maturity is incredibly attractive because it signals a man who isn't ruled by immaturity or impulsiveness. He knows himself, and that knowledge shows. 5. It helps you communicate with clarity, not chaos. People who don't regulate their emotions often talk in ways that escalate conflict. They react quickly, defend themselves aggressively, or shut down altogether. A man with emotional self-control communicates differently. He pauses before responding. He listens instead of interrupting. He expresses himself calmly. He keeps the discussion on track. This kind of communication is rare and extremely attractive because it shows emotional intelligence, patience, and respect. 6. It protects your dignity in every situation.
When emotions take over, dignity is often the first thing lost. People say things they later regret. They act out of fear, anger, or insecurity. Emotional self-control protects you from that. It helps you hold your center, keep your tone respectful, walk away from unnecessary drama, maintain your integrity. Women admire men who can stay composed even when they're frustrated because it reveals deep self-respect. 7. It allows you to make better decisions. Emotionally reactive men make fast, impulsive decisions that can damage relationships, careers, and opportunities. Emotionally grounded men think clearly, even during conflict. They step back, breathe, and evaluate before acting. This ability to make wise decisions is highly attractive because it signals strong leadership, stability, long-term thinking, wisdom. Women are drawn to men who choose actions carefully, not emotionally.
Number 6. Respectful and consistent boundaries. Respectful and consistent boundaries are one of the strongest signs of emotional maturity. They quietly communicate who you are, what you stand for, and how you expect to be treated. They are not walls, not punishments, and not forms of control. Instead, they are a healthy expression of self-respect. When someone consistently holds their boundaries with calmness, they naturally create an atmosphere of trust and stability. People feel safer around them, not because they are strict, but because they are dependable, clear, and grounded. These qualities are deeply attractive on a psychological level, not for manipulation, but because they express emotional clarity, confidence, and integrity. Below are the core reasons respectful and consistent boundaries matter, explained in a clear and non-sexual way, with full detail and depth. 1. They show that you respect yourself. A boundary is a statement of self-worth. You are essentially saying, my time, energy, and emotional well-being matter. You don't need to brag or remind anyone of your value. Your boundaries demonstrate it. People naturally respond more positively to someone who respects themselves. They feel they're interacting with a person who has dignity. It sets the tone for healthy, balanced interactions where no one is undervalued. 2. They create emotional safety in relationships. When you communicate and protect your boundaries respectfully, others feel more comfortable around you. They know where you stand. They understand what's acceptable and what crosses a line. There's no confusion, no guessing, no hidden pressure. Predictability creates trust. Trust creates emotional comfort. Emotional comfort creates connection. Your boundaries become the frame that keeps the relationship stable. 3. They prevent resentment before it builds. Most resentment in relationships comes from unspoken expectations. People remain silent to avoid conflict, but silence often leads to frustration. Boundaries stop that cycle. When you calmly express what you can and cannot accept, you prevent misunderstandings before they happen. This keeps the relationship clean, honest, and free of passive-aggressive tension. 4. They teach people how to treat you. People learn from your behavior, not your words. If you say you need respect but allow disrespectful behavior, your words lose impact. If you say you value your time but tolerate constant interruptions, people assume it doesn't matter. Consistent boundaries send a clear message. You are welcome in my life, but not at the cost of my peace. You don't have to demand better treatment. Your boundaries naturally invite it. 5. They strengthen your emotional stability. When you consistently maintain boundaries, you avoid emotional chaos and unnecessary stress. You control what enters your life and what doesn't. You choose what to tolerate and what to let go. This gives you emotional clarity. Clarity gives you peace. Peace gives you strength. People notice when you are emotionally steady. It's calming. It's grounding. It's uncommon in a world full of rushed reactions and emotional impulsivity. 6. They filter out people who aren't good for you. Consistent boundaries act like a natural filter.
People who respect you will have no problem honoring your limits. They'll even appreciate your clarity. But those who want convenience without responsibility will often drift away when they see you cannot be used, controlled, or manipulated. And that is a gift. The right people stay. The wrong people remove themselves. Your life becomes lighter and healthier without effort. 7. They build genuine connection, not forced attachment. Boundaries don't push people away. They keep relationships real. When you show people the real you, your needs, your limits, your values, they can connect with you authentically. Without boundaries, people bond with a version of you that isn't sustainable. With boundaries, they bond with the real you. Authenticity creates lasting connection. 8. They help you stay true to your purpose. When you have boundaries, you don't get pulled into every distraction or request. You protect your time, energy, and goals. You're able to stay focused on what truly matters to you. People notice when your life has direction. They admire your discipline and respect your priorities. Having boundaries is a quiet sign that you're moving with intention, not drifting aimlessly.
Number 7. A balanced sense of humor. A balanced sense of humor is not about being the funniest man in the room, cracking jokes nonstop, or performing for attention. It's something much deeper, an emotional signal that communicates warmth, confidence, adaptability, and an easygoing nature. Women naturally respond to this because humor, when used well, creates connection and comfort without forcing anything. It's one of the most underrated qualities a man can have, not because it entertains her, but because it changes the emotional atmosphere around you. A man with balanced humor can turn a tense moment into something lighter, make conversations flow effortlessly, and show that he isn't weighed down by insecurity or stress. Let's break down the reasons why a balanced sense of humor is so attractive and what it reveals about a man's character. 1. It shows emotional stability. A man who can laugh gently at life, even during stressful situations, demonstrates emotional maturity. It shows he doesn't crumble under pressure or let fear rule his reactions. A steady, light sense of humor communicates, I can handle this. I'm not overwhelmed. I stay grounded, even when things are uncertain. This emotional stability instantly puts people at ease. Women naturally gravitate toward men who have this calm, balanced approach because it makes them feel safe and comfortable in his presence. 2. It helps build connection naturally. Humor creates a bridge between people. It breaks down walls without invading anyone's space. When used respectfully, it makes conversations feel more natural and unforced. A balanced sense of humor is not sarcasm or teasing. It's the ability to lighten the moment in a way that feels gentle, warm, and human. It signals you're approachable. You enjoy the moment. You're comfortable with yourself. This creates emotional closeness without intensity or pressure, something women deeply appreciate. 3. It shows confidence without arrogance. Many men mistakenly try too hard to be funny, which can come across as insecurity or attention-seeking. But balanced humor is effortless. It's the smile during a stressful moment. It's the witty observation you make casually. It's the lighthearted remark that eases tension instead of trying to dominate the room. This kind of humor signals inner confidence, not loudness or performance. Women interpret this as genuine self-assurance, something extremely attractive because it shows quiet strength rather than ego. 4. It softens your presence and makes you approachable. A man who carries himself too rigidly or too seriously can unintentionally create distance. But when your demeanor is warm and light, people feel more relaxed around you. Balanced humor makes your presence feel safer, reduces social tension, and helps others feel comfortable expressing themselves. Women especially appreciate this because it creates emotional openness without pressure. You become someone who is easy to be around, someone who doesn't create heaviness or discomfort. 5. It shows you don't take yourself too seriously. One of the strongest indicators of emotional intelligence is the ability to laugh at yourself, not in a self-degrading way, but in a grounded, confident way. This tells her, you know you're human. You don't cling to perfectionism. You aren't afraid of small mistakes. This makes you feel relatable, real, and humble. It's an extremely attractive trait because it removes ego from the equation and replaces it with authenticity. 6. It reflects a positive outlook on life. A man with a balanced sense of humor tends to see life through a lens of optimism rather than fear or negativity. He can navigate ups and downs without letting them define his entire mood. This kind of energy feels uplifting. It communicates hope, resilience, mental flexibility. Women feel drawn to men who carry this lightness, not because they expect him to fix anything, but because positivity makes the relationship space feel supportive instead of draining. 7. It helps diffuse tension respectfully. Balanced humor isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about easing emotional intensity so conversations feel manageable and not overwhelming. It helps you calm down heated situations, avoid unnecessary arguments, and bring perspective to stressful moments. Women appreciate men who can do this because it shows emotional leadership. It demonstrates that you can handle complexity with a calm, grounded mindset.
Number 8. Reliability and consistency. There are certain traits that don't need loud announcements or dramatic displays. They work in the background, quietly shaping how people see you and how they feel in your presence. Reliability and consistency are two of those traits. They don't require perfection. They don't require being available 24/7. They don't require bending your boundaries or rearranging your whole life. They simply require a steady presence, the kind that people can count on, not because you said so, but because your actions repeatedly prove it. Below are the key reasons why reliability and consistency are powerful, respected, and deeply attractive qualities in a man, all explained in a calm, non-sexual tone. 1. People feel emotionally safe around you. Most people live in environments where promises are broken, attention is inconsistent, and behavior changes depending on mood. So when someone shows up steadily, not perfectly, but reliably, it creates emotional safety. People relax around you. They don't have to guess your intentions. They don't have to decode your reactions. Your consistency becomes a calm space in a world full of unpredictability. 2. You show that your word means something. A reliable person doesn't need to over-explain or convince anyone of anything. Why? Because over time, their actions speak loudly. If you say you'll do something, big or small, you actually follow through. When you keep your commitments, people trust your character. They take your statements seriously. They respect your boundaries and expectations. Your word becomes a quiet promise backed by history. 3. You build trust without pushing for it. Trust is never something you demand. It's something that forms naturally through repetition. Every time you show up when you said you would, respond in a steady way, act according to your values, people learn they can trust you. They don't need to test you. They don't need to doubt you. Your pattern of behavior does the work for you. Trust grows slowly, then suddenly, but it always grows on the foundation of consistency. 4. You reduce unnecessary drama. Unpredictable people create confusion. Reliable people create clarity. When your behavior is consistent, you reduce misunderstandings, emotional guessing games, unnecessary tension, last-minute surprises.
People always know what version of you they will meet, the steady one. Consistency is a form of emotional maturity. 5. You show that your emotions don't control you. Consistency isn't just about actions, it's also about temperament. When you handle stress, conflict, or challenges in a steady way, you show self-control. You show emotional stability. You show maturity. This doesn't mean you never feel frustrated or upset. It simply means your feelings don't dictate your behavior. This calm steadiness is something people deeply value. 6. You become someone others can depend on. Dependability doesn't mean doing everything for everyone. It means you're reliable within your limits. When you consistently follow through, people know you don't lose interest suddenly. You don't disappear without explanation. You don't change your behavior randomly. You don't abandon commitments halfway. This creates quiet respect, the kind that lasts. 7. You show that you live by your principles. Anyone can act calm or responsible once. It's the repetition that proves who you are. Consistency shows you have personal standards. You follow your own rules. You don't break your values when things get inconvenient. It communicates strength of character, even when you don't say a single word.
Number 9. Being comfortable in your own skin. Why it instantly makes you more attractive. Being comfortable in your own skin is one of the most overlooked but profoundly powerful qualities a man can possess. It's not about arrogance, bravado, or pretending to be someone you're not. Instead, it's about fully accepting who you are, embracing your strengths and weaknesses, and moving through life without fear of judgment or comparison. Women, and people in general, are naturally drawn to those who embody this trait. There's a calm confidence, a quiet authenticity, and a grounded presence that speaks louder than any words or actions. Here is why being comfortable in yourself is such a magnetic quality, with proper psychological and behavioral reasoning behind it. 1. Authenticity attracts trust. When you are comfortable in your own skin, you show up as your true self. You don't feel the need to impress or perform, which immediately creates trust. Women, and people in general, respond to authenticity because it removes uncertainty. They don't have to guess who you are or second-guess your intentions. When your words and actions are consistent with who you truly are, it signals emotional honesty and reliability. Example, you express your opinions calmly without worrying about being judged. This signals confidence and earns respect. 2. Comfort reduces anxiety in social interactions. A man who is secure with himself naturally eases tension in social situations. When you're comfortable with who you are not preoccupied with whether people approve of you. This creates a relaxed energy that others can sense. Psychologically, humans are drawn to calm, confident energy because it reduces stress and makes interaction effortless. If you're at ease in your own skin, she feels at ease around you. 3. Self-acceptance inspires respect. Comfort in your own skin reflects self-respect. You accept your flaws without letting them define you, and you recognize your strengths without arrogance. This balance inspires respect because it demonstrates emotional maturity. Women notice when a man values himself enough not to settle for less or act insecure to gain approval. Respect is a core ingredient in deep, lasting attraction. 4. It encourages authentic connections. When you are comfortable being yourself, you attract people who appreciate the real you. There's no need to play games, exaggerate achievements, or hide parts of your personality. This makes relationships, romantic, platonic, or professional, more meaningful. Women respond to genuine energy because it allows them to be authentic themselves without fear of judgment. Example, you share your thoughts openly, listen without pretense, and respond with honesty rather than saying what you think she wants to hear. 5. Comfort in yourself shows emotional stability. A man who is grounded in his identity rarely reacts impulsively to criticism, peer pressure, or unexpected situations. Emotional stability is highly attractive because it signals that you can handle life's challenges with composure. When she observes that you are secure and steady, it creates a sense of reliability and safety. Psychological studies show that emotional regulation is one of the most admired traits in both personal and professional contexts. 6. Comfort frees you from comparison. When you are comfortable in your own skin, you stop comparing yourself to others. This reduces envy, insecurity, and the need to compete unnecessarily. Women notice men who are secure because it creates a sense of self-assurance and independence. You don't need external validation to feel worthy, which makes your presence naturally magnetic. 7. Comfort enhances confidence without arrogance. True confidence comes from self-acceptance, not from trying to prove yourself. A man who is comfortable in his skin exudes quiet confidence because he knows his value without needing constant recognition. This is far more compelling than loud or performative confidence, which can often feel forced or superficial. Psychological research shows that people respond more positively to understated, genuine self-assurance than to exaggerated displays. 8. You become more adaptable and open-minded. When you accept yourself, you are less defensive and more open to new experiences, perspectives, and feedback. This adaptability is attractive because it signals flexibility and maturity. Women are drawn to men who can engage thoughtfully, handle different situations gracefully, and maintain composure even when challenged. Being comfortable in your skin allows you to respond with clarity rather than reacting out of insecurity.
Number 10. Quiet strength and self-assurance. Why it attracts respect and connection. In a world that often celebrates loud voices and overt displays of confidence, there is something quietly magnetic about a person who exudes quiet strength and self-assurance. This is the kind of presence that doesn't demand attention, yet naturally draws it. It is not about arrogance, dominance, or proving oneself. It is about having a grounded sense of who you are, being steady under pressure, and acting with integrity. Here are the reasons why quiet strength and self-assurance are so compelling, along with the psychological and social dynamics behind them. 1. They remain calm under pressure. One of the most noticeable traits of someone with quiet strength is their ability to stay calm when situations become challenging. While others might react impulsively, raise their voice, or become visibly anxious, a self-assured person remains composed. This calmness signals reliability and emotional stability. Why it matters? Humans are naturally drawn to calm presences because they feel safer and more confident around them. Seeing someone maintain clarity in chaos reassures others that challenges are manageable and that panic is unnecessary. 2. They don't need to prove themselves. Self-assured individuals do not feel the need to constantly validate their worth or achievements. They are comfortable in their abilities and choices without seeking external approval. Their confidence comes from internal standards rather than public recognition. Why it matters? People tend to respect those who are self-confident but humble. This combination inspires trust, as others know they are interacting with someone authentic rather than someone performing for attention. 3. They listen more than they speak. Quiet strength often manifests as thoughtful listening. Rather than dominating conversations, these individuals carefully observe, consider, and respond when appropriate. Their words carry weight because they are chosen deliberately. Why it matters? In a culture of constant noise, someone who listens attentively stands out. Listening builds connection, demonstrates empathy, and shows that they value the perspectives of others. It also communicates that their confidence doesn't need to overshadow anyone else. 4. They have a strong sense of boundaries. Self-assured people know their limits and respect the boundaries of others. They are firm when necessary, but do so without aggression or defensiveness. This ability to assert themselves gently reflects inner security. Why it matters? Boundaries create respect. When someone consistently honors their own limits, it signals maturity and self-respect, which naturally encourages others to reciprocate. People are drawn to individuals who maintain dignity without being confrontational. 5. They lead by example. Quiet strength is often demonstrated through actions rather than words. Whether at work, in friendships, or in family dynamics, self-assured individuals show integrity, reliability, and consistency. They inspire others not through commands, but by the standard they set with their own behavior. Why it matters? Actions carry more weight than words. When others witness someone consistently doing the right thing, it fosters admiration and trust. People naturally gravitate toward leaders who guide by example rather than intimidation. 7. They exude confidence without arrogance. There's a subtle difference between quiet confidence and loud arrogance. Those with quiet strength don't need to brag or dominate conversations to assert themselves. Their self-assurance is inherent, not performative. Why it matters? People are drawn to those who are confident but approachable. Quiet confidence creates an aura of competence and reliability, making others feel comfortable and inspired rather than intimidated. 8. They make others feel comfortable. A person with quiet strength has a calming presence. They encourage others to express themselves without judgment, creating a space where people feel heard and valued. This is not about being agreeable at all costs. It is about being genuinely attentive and steady. Why it matters? Emotional safety is a powerful magnet. When people feel comfortable and respected, they naturally want to engage and collaborate. Quietly strong individuals foster trust and positive social dynamics effortlessly. 9. They are consistent and predictable in character. Self-assured individuals act consistently according to their values. People can rely on them because their behavior is steady and their principles are unwavering. Why it matters? Predictability in character builds respect. It allows others to form meaningful connections without second-guessing intentions. Reliability is often far more attractive than loud displays of charisma.